Hello, my name is Shane. This is Ben,
I'm Ben.
and he's all right. So the whole point of this is, we think we discovered something.
And I think everybody is mildly aware of, but I don't think
It's
they
just kind of one of
understand
those
it.
like subconscious like things that we don't really notice, but it does exist. Like it's definitely a real thing. What I think the problem is, all right. So the whole point of what we're like talking about is like we've both noticed, 2 times this month that we have both experienced this thing where like time seems to move way slower than like what the clock reads. I mean, we both know like time to begin with is just a psychological concept that isn't really real. It's all relativity and stuff like that. But what we have noticed is that like today it was like 8:30. I ended the Skype call and we both thought it was very late at night. Not like thought, but it just felt like it was. Like it felt like 11 o'clock. I mean, it was only like 8:30. Then we both started watching like movies and Netflix and stuff, and it felt like forever. And then we thought it was gonna be like 1 o'clock, but it was only like 9:40. So we went and got some food, right? Because that's logical. And while we were there, we started talking about it. Because today is the 11th of October.
I think so.
Yeah. It's the second time that it's happened this month, right? Earlier we noticed it. It was during a black moon. 2 new moons in 1 month.
Yeah, that was something that I noticed specifically. I pointed it out that it was a black moon. I don't know if it actually has anything to do with anything.
It probably doesn't.
Probably doesn't. It's just a neat little milestone type of thing.
It was sort of his way of remembering the day that last time it happened, right?
Yes. Like, let's just sort of explain it like this. Like, everybody sort of has those days where they just feel off. Just everything about the day just feels off. The people you talk to might be kind of cranky, or the opposite. They're just kind of weirdly happy or something like that. Not usually it's the other way around. Usually it's that they're just kind of out of it and they're kind of a little bit cranky. And that might be because they're not used to the sort of state of their mind at the time being. Like, I guess what we're trying to get at is that, like, there are physical reasons, I think, that these days happen,
He's right.
Yes.
Well, not right, but we postulate that what we're trying to get at is that we think that there's some sort of like higher theory that we don't think this. It's just kind of like what we we talked about it a bit, and we just spitballing some ideas, and we seem to have come up with an idea that like there is not like a higher power or anything, but just something weird going on in the greater universe that our minds seem to like perceive as just weird stuff happening around, as if like it feels like 3 hours pass, but only like an hour does, or it feels like it's super late at night. Like right now it feels like it's 2 a.m, and I don't even think it's like 11:30 yet.
Yeah.
And it's felt like that since
it's 11:18.
Yeah. And it's felt like that for the last 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like it's fine during the day,
Yeah.
but it's when it gets later at night when you seem to like
I think that's because it's usually your body's sort of winding down, and usually that's kind of a very precise process. Like, you go through certain stages, but because your mind is maybe a little bit out of it, you're not quite going through the stages as you normally would. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way I think of it.
And I made a joke out of it. I was like, oh, I guess they switch back to Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears, because there's a whole theory about like what is it? Like how somebody went back and changed like a parallel universe where Steen and Stain are 2 different things, right?
Yeah.
And we just thought like, hey, look, it seems like the universe is different. So there's a whole postulate, like somebody went back postulate. That's such a
Postulate.
I don't think it's a good word to describe it. I think there's that one theory. I say theory because it's not supported by any sort of evidence aside from speculation, much like most of the.
It's like a speculation that you see on the internet.
Yeah, something that people will convince large groups of people that is real, just because they want to believe it or something. What we're getting at is we think, I just said use that as an example because when I first felt that like weird shift, a couple weeks ago, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I was like, wow, the universe feels really weird right now. Time's not moving like it normally does every other day this year or whatever. I guess that means, I went back to Berenstein Bear spelled with an E. Neither of us actually looked into it or anything. We didn't Google it. So, I mean, there's nothing proving that didn't happen. But then 2 weeks later, we're where we are now. And I did look it up. It is staying with an A. So I think that it got switched to an E and then back to an A now, today, back when this weird shift has happened. That's not actually what I believe. That's just like giving you an idea of what we think is going on.
Yeah,
like we
'cause,
think that some weird change happened in the greater universe, and we're just perceiving it like this. Because what else would cause multiple people to perceive the same sensation, living like completely separate lives? And what were you
Yeah,
gonna say?
because like when you go around and you talk to other people, they tend to feel the same exact thing that you're feeling when you're going through this sort of weird, sort of, I guess,
Transition
not even a transition. It's like,
sensation.
I guess it's just like a weird state of being. You know what I mean? Like you just don't feel right. Nothing about anything feels right that's going on, and I guess it's just.
I know what you mean. It's
Yeah,
not
you know
like,
what I mean.
some people would think like, oh, it's just, that community brain, what's that term called? Where people like,
Groupthink.
yeah, it's a
No,
certain word
that's
for
different.
it.
Yeah,
It's
different.
like, you do something to a person a lot, like affect their surroundings a lot to make other people, like they're conforming to what's around them, not, maybe like just want us to stop talking to them because we're just annoying them, so they're just agreeing with us. But I mean, it seems like, it's people that we would regularly talk to who just, like, even him and I, we're in the same environment a lot because we're roommates,
Yes.
but still, we're still two separate brains raised completely differently. And we both seem to experience the same exact sensation while we're both, like, doing the same stuff. I'm not saying that the stuff we're doing leads to it, but just like, it's just a thing,
Yeah. It's like a case of like that sort of weird afternoon feeling you get when it's just not been a very like productive day. Maybe you might remember it when you were a child, in the summertime when school was out. You just didn't do anything all day, and you just end up feeling kind of gross and weird at the end of the day. I don't know if anybody else ever felt that, but I certainly would. It's sort of like that, where it doesn't feel right. You feel like even though maybe you have been doing things all day, nothing really feels like it's
Done anything.
done anything. Yeah, it feels like everything's stagnant.
Like you
Like
have
you
been
missed
productive.
some sort of crucial step in your daily routine. I don't know what it is.
And
Just something feels amiss.
what we're making out of this is that we're theorizing that since this seems to happen to multiple people at the same time on the same night, at the same like time of night or time of day or wherever you're experiencing it, we think that it's some sort of like greater change in the universe that's affecting the way that we perceive what's around us and like how we, interpret our surroundings in a way that seems to be it's very skewed from what it normally is. And I'm just noticing it recently. I think it's because my brain's reaching full development.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be some sort of abstract concept either. Like we're just saying like the change in the universe could be something as simple as like, I don't know, like a weird electromagnetic pulse that just hits the earth at one point,
Yeah.
Maybe a star collapsed somewhere. I don't know how it works. I'm not like a physics major or anything. So this is just theories that I'm just not even theories, just like sort of ideas I'm just coming up with off the top of my head.
'Cause-
But it's something like that I'm thinking, like something just greater than us, but it's not so great where it can't be described with words.
Yeah, it's not
or
like
science.
a higher power controlling us or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. This is
we just
very
think that it's a
scientific.
weird shift in the universe that seems to affect, of course, many people. A lot of people feel differently some days, that weird... it could just be
Yeah.
psychology. We could be completely wrong, but I mean,
Yeah.
psychology, it's very consistent. You
It's a very
experience...
consistent thing, and usually when you go around and if you say, just sort of mention offhandedly, today I've just been feeling off, or weird
And people
today.
usually agree with you.
People will generally agree with you. They'll feel the exact same way, or at least they'll say they will. You know what I mean?
People lie, but... that's
People
different.
lie, and you can also suggest to people, you say you feel a certain way, and they'll tend to sort of sometimes agree with you. That's just psychology.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think it goes beyond that, because I think a lot of these people, I do believe that they are feeling the same thing as I am. because you can just tell in the way they're caring about themselves, or
Like you
Yeah.
said earlier, like how their behavior is different.
Their behavior
Usually, if
is
it's somebody you
slightly
know
different.
like pretty well, woke
Yeah.
up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
it could
feeling.
be something like that, exactly. And it like one person might not have woken up on the wrong side or right side of the bed. Just a whole bunch of stuff could have happened.
So that's what we think about that.
Yeah, that's what our theories are here.
Yeah, it's not, a definite theory, it's nothing that's going to be in textbooks, but it's just our speculation from two science, science-oriented people.
Yes.
We base a lot of our thinking on logical ideas and
Yes.
fact-based knowledge, So, I mean, it's not just like, we're sharing BS Facebook articles about this. This is
Yes.
just something that we both, shared ideas about. Maybe we're just exhausted today, but I mean, even that's another thing that could contribute to this
Yes.
whole thing we're talking about, the change in a lot and stuff.
Yeah,
So, just think about it, all right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely something you want to keep in the back of your head and see if you notice too.
Yeah.
And, if you do,
We encourage
just
you to,
look
discuss
around
it
you,
with
think
people.
twice about things that seem out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, coincidences do happen, but, the world has a consistency to it. And, when that breaks, you shouldn't just ignore it.
Yeah. Everything in the universe is very pattern oriented. Just it's all patterns. Even these weird, odd feelings, I think, may be linked to some sort of greater pattern. I don't know.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks
This
for
has
watching. Remember to subscribe.
been... Wow, that's stupid. This has been Ben and Shane, otherwise known as BS Theories.
BS Theories.
All right, bye.